travel search engine, and together we're solving people's travel problems. We've got an expanding team that started off in Leith in Edinburgh, and we have offices ranging from Singapore to Miami to Barcelona now. And our goal is to create the mobile personal travel assistant.
We're delighted to once again partner with Scotland IAS to highlight the outstanding talent the Scottish educational system produces year after year. Skyscanner is a company experiencing hyper growth at the moment, and we're committed to supporting and nurturing young software talent in Scotland. We do this by providing a platform for them to showcase their aspirations and their talents through our graduate and intern programs. Our 2014 intake in June saw over 70 graduates and interns join our business, not to make up the numbers, but to be instrumental in helping to shape Skyscanner for the future. As part of the judging panel for this year's awards, Skyscanner CTO Alistair Hahn was overwhelmed by the knowledge, passion and innovation of the software talent coming through. It's clear that software engineering in Scotland is in good hands.
My name is Simone Ivan Conte, and the title of my dissertation is Haptic 2, haptic device for graph exploration for the visually impaired. My first memory about computer technology was when actually my parents bought me a computer, and it was stunning for me. It was like a magic box doing magic things. When I was around 14, 15, I had a mathematics class where our teacher encouraged us to program in C. And that's when I decided that doing programming was what I wanted to do. I think working on this project has made me told how technology can actually influence the way people use the technology itself. Usually we think of computers and software just as the way we access technology, but we never think of how other people who have disabilities do access technology.
My name's Andrew White, I'm 23 years old. I studied software engineering here at Strathclyde. When I was a little kid, I would play my dad at a game of chess or a game of checkers or backgammon, and he would never thrash me like he obviously could and still can, and he would never just let me win. He'd see how well I was playing and put me in positions where if I played optimally or correctly, then I could win the game. My first memory of computer technology was back in 1998 when my dad unmercifully dragged me to a technology sort of convention where people sort of trade and buy tech and all sorts of stuff. The department's incredibly enthusiastic. Every member of staff here is always willing to sort of talk to you and help you out.
My name is Heather Ellis. My project is looking at e-health and using seizure management to bridge the communication gap between clinicians and patients. I didn't take a direct route into computer technology. I wasn't that interested in it to begin with. I was more interested in business management, and it started when I was a very young child. I always played the manager and organizer, and I found a course at the University of Dundee that offered business computing. However, in my first year I came across human-computer interaction, and my lecturer was talking about solving problems using technology for people with communication difficulties. And I really liked the idea of taking a basic piece of technology and giving somebody their voice. My friends and family have been a huge support line for me during this project. My mother in particular was a great help because she was inspiration for the project, and also my participants were a big help.
So I'm Blair Archibald, and my project is control theory for dynamic heap resizing. My first memory of computer technology was getting the Sega Mega Drive 2. Spending countless hours playing Aladdin and the Lion King when I was 6 or 7. Some of my earlier sort of influences would be when I was at school. We started learning little bits of programming, and when you're sort of 14, 15, 16, everyone wants to make games. So I went on the internet and started trying to figure out how to make games. Originally I signed up for the electronic and software engineering course, and I was mainly interested in the electronics side. But as I came to university, I got more and more into computer science. I've started moving more and more in that direction. So my friends and family have been quite a lot of support, even though sometimes they're not 100% sure what it is that I'm doing. It's always good to sort of bounce ideas off of them. Being at the University of Glasgow has made a big difference to develop my project. We're quite a small department, so everyone's very friendly and you always know who to go to.
So I've built a device which the visually impaired can move around an interactive surface, and then the device would accordingly change its behavior, its surface behavior, to communicate haptic feedback on the end of the visually impaired. The haptic cue basically changes its surface through these actuators, and the visually impaired, which are the end users, should be able to lay their hand on top of it and feel the change of the surface through these actuators moving in the vertical direction.
I was developing artificial intelligence for a two-player abstract strategy game using heuristic search known as Monte Carlo tree search in two phases. One was so that the AI could adapt to the opponent. It would do a Monte Carlo tree search based on their recent move, determine how good their move was and whether or not they were likely to win. Then it would do a second set of searching and determine what move was optimum for it and try and swing its move to match its opponent.
My project is a seizure management application on a mobile phone. It was looking at the communication barrier between clinicians and patients, especially for people with complex epilepsy. It particularly looked at the data input, assisting the users in this input so as not to complicate things, analysing that data, customizing the interfaces that they had, and also presenting them with additional information such as medical histories and the contact information for emergencies.
My project is about optimizing the heap size for a Java runtime system, or any runtime system. So the easiest way to explain my project with a physical analogy. So if you imagine sort of a container that you're going to fill up, and then you turn on your hose or your tap, but you don't really know how quickly the water's coming out of that. And once the container's filled, you have to turn off the tap and empty the container. So the idea is we want to change the container size based on how quickly the water is coming in. So what we've done is we've taken some ideas from control theory and tied it with computer science. So what we do is we model program allocation rate as a disturbance, so that obviously if you don't do any allocations, you don't need to do any garbage collection. From a developer point of view, it's really simple to use. You just enable a couple of flags and off it goes.
The intention is to allow everyone to change it, to change the hardware, to change the software, to make improvements to the device.
Having simple little goals in video games can really help you mentally and physically. So I believe developing an AI which can help you play a game, learn a game, overcome some challenges can then be brought into your real life, and you can overcome real challenges that are facing the world today.
I see potential to adapt the project slightly to include tools to assist people with diabetes and other health conditions like allergies to monitor these. And I hope to release it for some initial beta testing in the wild as such. From that, I'm hoping to publish it fully into the App Store so that it can be utilised by my participants and the target users.
Java's deployed on millions of computers worldwide, so because I've got that optimization for Java, potentially millions of people can use it.
I hope to bring to the world of IT innovation. That for me is the focus of every day.
I want to have lots of goals and I want to achieve loads of my goals. I want to start at a small company where they take AI principles and apply them to real world problems.
My ideal project to work on in the future is something to do with e-health and also to do with working with vulnerable groups. I'm really interested in the challenges that they face to computer technology.
I really want to do something that helps people, so possibly working in medicine. I'm going to be starting a PhD in distributed parallelism. I don't like to sort of just follow the crowd. I like to stop and reflect on what people are doing, try other things.
Well, if I were to win, of course I would be very happy about it. But I think it would also motivate me to work on the project as a side during my PhD and try to improve it.
If I win Scotland's Young Software Engineer of the Year award, the difference it would make to me and my project is just that recognition that my project is actually one of the best, and it's not just a percentage on my degree that goes towards my certificate would be fantastic.
I think winning would be a big boost in the awareness of the project, alert people to the project and its potential scope. It would also build more connections for me within various different industry groups.
So if I won Young Software Engineer of the Year, it would obviously give my project a lot of publicity. Hopefully a lot of Java developers will see that and might want to use it. And to me personally, I think it would give me a great confidence boost to work on more challenging projects.
I would like to thank my supervisor, Miguel. the school for providing the facilities and supporting the project financially as well. Then the 2 students who gave me a lot of feedback on the device, and my family, of course, which was always there, even if not physically here.
My friends, my supervisor John Levine, the PhD student that he supervises as well, Phil Rogers, he was a big help, and my dad, very much my dad, he was a huge support for me throughout the entire project. I couldn't thank him enough.
I'd really like to thank my family, but in particular my mum and my fiance, for giving me the inspiration and giving me ideas throughout the project. But in particular my participants, without them I don't think this project would have been as successful as it has been.
My friends and family for just helping me out, supporting me, and Dr. Jeremy Singer and Callum Cameron, who are both academics at the university.